This is a trade recap for Monday, April 19th? No, 13th. It's 13th of 2026. This is number 2 of 10 for phase 4 of One and Done, our exercise to build discipline and consistency by limiting ourselves to one singular proper trade in a day. And then that is it. Currently using a size of 5 to 7 contracts as a max. Did have a little computer issue this morning at the open. Not sure what the hell it was, so I'll get into that. Kind of explain why I took the size I did and where I entered the trade. And yeah, other than that, actually worked out very well, especially considering the size that was used. But yeah, good stuff. So we'll go ahead and get into it. But if you're new or struggling with day trading and you are looking for a coach or mentor, or maybe again, you've never considered a coach or mentor, highly recommend one. The gentleman I learned from, his name is Pat Mitchell. He runs a education service called Trick Trades. You can find it at tricktrades.com. He's been doing this for over a decade now. Knows exactly what he's doing. He proves it day in, day out. And there's really not much more to say other than that. That you will not find a better person or individual out there that can teach you how to do this. He is a master at it. And like I said, proves it day in, day out. If you want a little sampling of his, information, what he puts out there, you can look on the site, read it over, as well as jump over to his YouTube page where he has over 1,700 videos at this point. He's been at this for a while, and he puts it all out there. It's just a lot of content to try and crawl through and put all the pieces together yourself. So I'd highly recommend, again, simply join the service. If you're interested, you can check down the description below. Save you a little money on your first month of membership. And yeah, give it a shot. See if it jives with you. If not, all good. So let's go ahead and get into the recording from this morning. All right, so here we are about 10 seconds before the open. Now, if you're new here, just kind of how this is all laid out. We only trade SPY and Qs, just those two tickers. So on this top row, that's SPY. On the bottom, that's Qs. On the left here, these charts are the daily charts. So one candle equals 1 day. In the middle, we have our intraday chart, which is 1 minute candles. And then I keep my order execution here on the right, just because that's how I like it. All kind of on one screen where I can keep track of everything without having to look all over the place. So what you'll see on here are these blue levels. These are the levels Pat selects, usually starting the night before and they're finding the morning of for our trades. Once he sets these levels, they do not change for any reason. As you can see, we were kind of, again, gapping down a little bit. So we were basically between these two levels of both SPY and Qs. And we were just going to wait to see kind of which tested first and which triggered. We were favoring the short on SPY and the long on Qs. And go ahead and hit play. Like I said, 10 seconds before the open. I don't even know if the recording actually caught the computer issue I was having, but for whatever reason, my computer kind of like stuttered and glitched out. And wanted to make sure that was all cleared up before potentially entering a trade. The last thing you want to do is put yourself in a trade when your hardware is potentially, or again, what software is doing something. I really think it was, again, something more had to do with my PC than the actual something like Trading View or anything like that. As you can see, we're working our way up. So again, it was kind of an opportunity to get started on SPY there, but missed it. So drawing in a couple levels that are kind of interesting to me. Initially, kind of getting zoomed back in. Just making sure, again, computer's not going to die on me for some reason. So SPY again kind of came up, test that leveled, and it started again retracing back up for a specific type of play that Pat has in these situations, and he was kind of guiding us on it. So I had no problem entering this trade. Did so with a lot of confidence, but at the same time, also limited my size just in case. So again, entering there on the specifics of that play. And then just kind of wait to see if we get follow through. Target ideally would be that first yellow line down that I drew, but sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. So just kind of step forward real quick just to not belabor the point. So it starts coming in. Premium actually moved really nice on that one. So it was one of those things where when that happens, you pay yourself. That's that. So again, it starts really, like, as soon as it starts breaking down past that morning range, you can see it starts to really move on the premium side. And then took it off right there. It was a singular contract, so nowhere near the typical size that we would be using. But hey, again, is what it is. Little computer glitch there, so I wanted to make sure everything was safe, but at the same time, not necessarily not take a trade. So it's actually one that presented itself like that with the guidance that Pat had. So again, for that one singular contract, grabbed $51. So that was actually pretty meaty, especially for the size. And again, didn't necessarily top tick the bottom, but yeah, one of those things where it's good enough for me. You'll see, just kind of let it sort out. But again, it's one of those things where, yep, that was pretty much it on that trade. Now I'll kind of jump over to the charts. So you can see the entry, got in with one, got out with one. Pretty straightforward on that part. Really good pop on premium when that followed through. But that's basically all I gave since I missed this initial one. And then didn't quite make made a slightly higher low and then just squeezed out. So it's one of those things where sometimes with these markets, you'll get some oddities again with what's going on in terms of like the news and whatnot. Again, there's definitely some things that need to be cautious right now because again, it's one of those things where there'll be some games that get played and things like that. But all in all, it's one of those things where for a single contract like $51, that's pretty damn good. In my mind, I was not expecting the premium to move like that. But hey, it did. So all in all, good there. Sometimes computer stuff happens. I don't have any rhyme or reason. I can't think of anything that really would have caused it. I didn't do any updates or anything like that, but it's just one of those things where when it does happen, it's like, be cautious. Make sure your stuff is good to go before, or again, if you're not confident in your hardware or software, it's one of those things where step on the brakes, press pause. Again, make sure all your stuff is good before you decide to, again, jump into a trade, because if you don't have a backup plan, like your phone, an app or something like that, another computer, some way to get out of that trade you're in, it's like you can get yourself into, again, some trouble there. So make sure you have a backup plan. And the way to always close out of a trade should, again, whatever the primary method you use, your main computer craps the bed on you. So not a issue, obviously, today in terms of like the worst. But again, it's one of those little oddball things that just happen. And see if we can, again, probably look into it a little bit more, but I honestly have no idea what caused it. So we'll probably best monitor it and see what happens. Psychology-wise, emotion-wise, obviously no issues with one contract. It's like, ooh, whatever. It doesn't even move the needle anymore at this stage. Trying to think of anything else. Starting this week, specifically tomorrow and Fridays, those are going to be momentum trading days, so things might look a little different on that front with the recaps. If they do, again, I'll explain, and again, the thumbnail will show like this was a momentum day as opposed to just a normal kind of one and done. And momentum is where Pat works with a smaller group of traders to, again, really help refine them on particular areas. So this will be my first time doing it, and really looking forward to it. This will be a great learning experience. So that's more or less all I got on my side. But like I said before, if you're looking for a high-level coach and mentor, Pat Mitchell over at TrickTrades.com, he's your man. He's the one you want to be learning from. And like I said, if you want to save a little money on your first month in there, you can check out the links below in the description. Other than that, have a good one, and we'll catch you later.